Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you had as peaceful and as nice of a weekend as possible. It's first thing in the morning, so the dogs are going to be very playful, so please ignore the playing that you're probably going to hear shortly in the background. If you have a few minutes, I'd really love to talk to you about some things. It's very important about everything that happened and everything that's happening now. But the first thing that I want to start off with, because I feel like it's most important, and this may sound like an apology, and it's not necessarily an apology more than an explanation. And I've apologized before. I'm not one that is hesitant to apologize for things that I'm very sorry for. So this is more of an explanation and a learning lesson for me. They say to never write an email when you're angry or upset. And one of the many things that I believe I took away from this experience is to never, especially when you have millions and millions of people that, are watching your videos that support you, mostly support you, maybe never make a post when you're frantic or when you're panicking, because that can cause panic. And that is, hopefully you know me by now, that I've never made a video while I'm panicking. And that causing panic is the last thing that I would ever want to do in my community, state, any of you, for people. I've spoken about this before. I know how the media can take stories and make them a lot worse, and I would never ever want to influence that by any means. And the thing is that situation, that video where I was in the car, I was panicking, and I had just spoken to the vet, and I didn't even mention this part, but my veterinarian, just a few minutes before that video where I was letting everyone know that this is really bad, just a few minutes before, my veterinarian was kind of preparing me to possibly say goodbye to Shelby. So it all was coming down at once. All my dogs were at the vet. Lily was in ICU, and I was just filled with fear. And it was irresponsible of me. It was irresponsible of me to not get control of my emotions and to also not get a better understanding of the situation. It was irresponsible of me to post, to make a video at that moment. And for that, I am sorry. I didn't even think that this would cause so many people. I've had a lot of people, is it okay to go outside with my dog? And I'm really sorry for causing that. However, at the same time, something that I've been thinking about is, it is something that I, as a dog owner, would want to know. It is something that I would want to know. And one thing that is really beautiful about this situation, there are many beautiful things that came out of this, which I'm going to disclose with you and discuss with you. But one of the things that I really am really proud of, not proud of, but I'm not really sure what the word is. The amount of shelters and the amount of rescues that were reaching out to me, not just to check on me, but to thank me for being so open about what we were going through. I didn't realize that the rescue community as a whole has a fear of expressing when there are illnesses within their rescue, because they're afraid of, they're hesitant to mention it because they're afraid of judgment and all these different things. And people from my team, I've never heard this expression before, having certain people on my team, sometimes they say, you're sometimes transparent to a fault. And I've said this many times, I believe authenticity is not just power, authenticity is everything. When you can be 100% authentic with people, all of your flaws, the pros and the cons, everything, that is the most peaceful place to be. You are who you are. And I have what I have, and my dogs, my community, internally, what I mean is like the sanctuary is open, not physically open, but I show everything, what's going on, the good and the bad. And of course, there's sometimes judgment, but I see the good in the community. I see the good in people, and ultimately, goodness always prevails, in my opinion. So, I say this part of this message is for people. You know, when you are dealing with something, as far as some sort of illness or whatever it is, you know, to rescues, please don't hesitate to share, because it was really beautiful to see. And certain rescues who I've never even heard from were just really grateful that I was so open about it. But I am sorry that I caused any sort of panic. So I just want to explain a couple of things. You know, at the time, while I was making that video, when I said all the vets are closed within a 50-mile radius, what I should have been a little bit more specific about is not the actual vet's office was closed. The oxygen chambers were full. So there weren't any places for me to take my dogs to get oxygen, which is what a lot of the dogs really needed. So we had to go all the way to Dove Lewis, who saved Lily's life, by the way. Thank you so much to Dove Lewis. I just want to say thank you so much to the Animal Care Center. Thank you so much to Wilma Vet, and thank you deeply to Dove Lewis. Exceptional care. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to those three hospitals, and for saving Lily's life and for taking care of my dogs the way you have been taking care of them. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And as well as thank you to Vista Pet for reaching out to us and being there to help if we needed it. Vista Animal Hospital, sorry. So it's not that all the vets were closed or anything like that. Looking back at the video now, I was like, man, I could see I was afraid, and I expressed that, and that caused fear. It's all the oxygen chambers were full. There was nowhere and that's why we bought oxygen chambers. Thank you to your donations and all your help. And that was the thing. I think I would have liked to have waited, but I was giving you information as I was getting it. You know, a lot of people, these same rescues who reached out to me to express gratitude for sharing what we're going through, also wanted to know, what is it that you're going through? And I'm so sorry. You know, if I had the answers, I would give them to you. We're waiting for, I forgot the name of the test, but we've gotten a variety of different tests sent out to labs for us to figure out what this is. We're getting a biopsy. As I said, lady had 20% of her lung removed, and they're getting hey guys. And that's the thing, guys, you know, it was this order of events, right? It's like, we lost Rue, so I'm wrapping my head around that, staying calm. Then lady gets this massive surgery. We almost lost her. I had to make the decision. Do we put her down or get the surgery? Thank goodness we got the surgery. There were all these different things. And then when Lily went into ICU and all, like, I just started to panic, and I should have remained calm, you know, and not delivered it. I believe not delivered it the way that I did. And but that was real time, and that is how I was feeling. But I should have been a little bit more responsible with knowing the amount of people that watch my videos, and how, you know, the media can take a story and pretty much do whatever they want with it. So I should have just been a little bit more responsible. As far as what it is, we really don't know yet. But I do want to address many people, unfortunately. This is how rumors get started. It's terrible. It's in my opinion, one of the worst things about social media is how people have these people who have no idea what they're talking about, you know, have these really strong opinions, and it's terrible. It's so terrible, because that's not only how rumors get started, but people read this and they believe that that's what it is, and it's just a terrible thing. And that's another thing that I should have thought of before talking about our experience with all this. So one, I want you to know that this is not from any water. This isn't from the lake. This isn't from green algae, blue algae, any algae. This isn't from the water, or else all the dogs would be sick. That we would have known that right away. We wouldn't have to do all the testing. Like, it really sucks, the things that people put on the internet because it's just so far from the truth. So this has nothing to do with any sort of anything that happened from the lake or the pond or anything on the property. That's A. The second thing, this did not start as kennel cough. This has nothing to do, that's what we all thought it was. Kennel cough is something that you pretty much see in every shelter, pretty much, not guaranteed, but you pretty much see it in every shelter, which is why we have a very strict quarantine policy. If you see my videos, anytime we take dogs from a shelter, they're quarantined for at least 30 days and vet checked before we let them with the dogs. This did not come from a shelter. And that's what was so scary about this, is that if it came from kennel cough, we've been there before, we've seen it. There's not a rescue in the world that hasn't experienced kennel cough. We did not have that experience. It was immediate pneumonia, immediate. One cough, you hear a dog cough once, this dog, we realized, has severe pneumonia. Not just like they just need a few antibiotics, like one little cough, CC, and that's what really scared me, is CC has never been sick before. And all of a sudden I heard her cough, I was already kind of nervous, so we rushed her to the vet, and my fears were accurate because her lungs were terrible, and we had to get her in the oxygen chamber, and So that's what was so scary. It was either they weren't eating or a cough and pneumonia. So no, there was no kennel cough. It is not dog influenza. The lack of answers is what a lot of the panic came from. I will have answers soon, and of course I'm going to keep you updated. I see a lot of articles in San Diego right now. They're going through the same exact thing. A veterinarian just did an article about this is going on in San Diego. Ronan is talking to me here. Of dogs getting these upper respiratory infections out of nowhere. So it is happening all around. And I just, I'm not saying for you to be scared to take your dog out, but I would be a little bit cautious as far as dog parks and dog parks and places where there's going to be a lot of dogs. And, when it comes to like grooming facilities and doggy boarding in hotels, they're very good at making sure they don't take sick dogs in. So don't change your way of life. I don't want that for you. And if you catch it early, it can be treated. It just takes some treatment, but it's just about being aware. That's my advice, is just to be aware. And that's really what I wanted to tell you. And as I said about donations, and anytime we ask for donations, I tell you, we only ask when we need it. We only ask when we need it. And a lot of people are like, why would you tell people not to donate anymore? Like, use it for this, use it for that. The reason why I tell people not to donate, and again, if you didn't see my video, we don't need any more donations. It's because I know we're not the only one going through it. There's other rescues that need help, other shelters that need help. If we keep asking for donations, it makes me feel like maybe people won't donate to their local shelter or their local rescue. And the rescue community is not just the Asher House, not just Oregon, it's worldwide. And I want all of the rescue communities, all of the rescues to be able to pay their bills and afford to take care of their dogs and take in more dogs. So we don't need more, and it's as simple as that, right? We don't want to take what we don't need. And thank you all for what you have done for the Asher House, for helping. I mean, the dogs are doing so much better, and you really puts life into perspective, right? I lost Maeve. I think, it's terrible. How can I go through this? Then you lose Rue, and you're like, this is kind of like, this has to be it now. This has to be it. And then we're about to lose Lady. And then it's like, when you're about to lose 10 dogs, you're like, thank gosh, I only lost one, or I only lost two. It's just a weird mindset. It just puts things into perspective to be grateful for that you have what you have, that not more is taken from you, So that's about it. As far as where there's a lot of people like to blame. That's another thing. This came from this came from that. What I can tell you is this is one of the most important parts I want you guys to pay attention to if you're still watching. I realize we're already 15 minutes in. So for those of you who are watching, I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments who didn't finish the video but already give their opinion. So maybe you can kindly correct people if you watch this. This part's very important. Lady was about to get adopted. If she still will get adopted, I'm not sure. You're not going to see her. She's at one of our employees' houses being cared for because she is very sensitive now, right? She had a huge surgery, so she's healing and recovering. Hopefully she still gets adopted. But Lady was getting adopted. Her adopters were on the way here from Michigan. They had already, from Michigan, they had just got to Wyoming, driving to come pick her up in Oregon when this happened. Terrible circumstances. Now, Lady wasn't here. Because of Lady's anxiety, we had her close by, but at a training facility where they would take her to meet new people every day, take her out, take her to all these different stores and meet other dogs to get her comfortable before getting adopted, as well as training and things like that. She had been there for a few weeks. When they called us to tell us, they said, hey, a couple of our dogs, Lady isn't doing so well. We were finding out about that while she was there, while dealing with it here. So it was very weird that it was happening kind of all over. And then when we heard about the vets having a lot of dogs with upper respiratory, I started feeling like this is everywhere and this is all over Oregon. It's not. I don't know if it's all over Oregon, but this is what we were dealing with, and I was expressing that. With Lady not being here and getting it, and me hearing about other dogs getting it, that is where the fear really, came to me. And I should have taken a couple deep breaths and realized the amount of people that my message is being heard from, is received by. So that's about it, guys. It is one thing that I think a lot of the panic came from was not being able to get it under control. That was a big fear of mine because, with all due respect to where I was getting my information from, I heard a lot of fear from them. So I hear that fear, and that's how these things happen. I'm hearing the uncertainty from other people. So I feel uncertain, and then I give that information to you, and of course you feel uncertain. So I probably could have waited. I probably should have waited, but if I waited, it wouldn't have been real time. All right. And that's it. That's it, guys. Thank you. Thank you all so much. The way this community has come together, I don't think many communities are as lucky. I really can't believe it, and I'm so grateful. The amount of people that showed up, and that's another thing. The scammers really love to take advantage of this situation. I've said it so many times. This is my one and only account. I don't have any private page, no chats, no nothing. It's just here, and the AsherHouse.com is the only place to make a donation. So hopefully you guys are being careful there. But thank you all just for everything from the bottom of my heart, for supporting me, Lee Asher, for supporting the Asher House, for loving my animals, for appreciating all of it. Guys, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'm so grateful, and I always will be. The impact that this has had on me, I can't imagine, and I will continue to update you along the way with what I learn and all the information that I get. Of course, I will update you every step of the way and tell you anything that I would want to know as a dog owner, right? Anything that I would want to know, I'm going to give you that information, but I promise to do it more responsibly next time and not in a panic. And remember, never write an email when you're upset, never send a text when you're angry. And now I've learned never do a post, never make a post when you're panicking. and I know that now. Okay. We will figure this out, though. We most certainly will figure this out. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support on every level. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.